Oh my gosh, we've got joined by Andrew Hatch, just under the wire, Andrew. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties. We are dedicating this show today to a project that's been ongoing for months. The planning stages and in the development stages, and now finally, the very tip of the presentation stage. So we'll be introducing our programmer and some various people in just a second. My name is Roland, and this is Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties. The show's been going on almost 2 years, and we're within 30 days or so of the actual anniversary date of the show starting in 2014. And my normal hosts would be Molly Youngwood Geiger and Karen V. Chin, and they are not available today, but we do have our new comment tracking backup man, and that's Bill Graham, and he's with us, and he's going to be with us a long time to come. Say hi, Bill, and tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bill Graham. I normally run my own website, which is billdoesbelize.com, to provide unbiased information, the unbelievable truth, I call it, to those that might be considering a lifestyle change and move to Belize. And I'm happy to be with the Smarties now as the comment tracker. One of the things in my marketing experience has been that the inclusion of the audience is a big thing, so I'm happy to be a part of that for Roland.
Thank you, Bill. And when it comes right down to it, Bill is a lot more than a comment tracker. If you've been involved in any of the hangouts with Bill, he says the most astute things. The comments that he makes and the observations are very, very relevant. And I love his principles and what he stands for and his methodologies, and that's why he's here with us in the Smarties. So that's Bill. Glad to have you, Bill.
Thanks, Roland. I tend to repeat a lot of stuff that other people say, though.
Yeah, but the difference is you're not just regurgitating stuff. You actually believe what you're talking about, and that's a very important thing. There are a lot of people regurgitating stuff that they do not understand and they do not believe, and that's where I draw one of my lines in the sand. And yet, if you don't understand something, say you don't know, say you don't understand, and then ask people. And that's part of the beauty of Hangouts, is that we can inquire as to what the audience thinks, and we can incorporate those comments right there in the comments and say, hey, guess what? So-and-so believes this. And we can discuss it live, and it's an open forum where if the people don't disagree or they do disagree, we can reinforce it right on the spot. And I like that liveliness and the recorded essence of what we're doing, and that stands to be a recording of reality in its best sense. It's not a put on. We're not trying to sell anybody anything. We're just basically trying to discover, learn, and teach people as we go. So one of the best teachers and the developers of this nature is Lowell Ann Fulsang, who has her own program, A Success Circle, and Being Your Own CEO. And so, Lowell Ann, thank you for joining us this morning. Say hi and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, good morning. I'm really excited to be here as part of this latest experiment. As you know, I'm all for experimentation. What do I do? Well, I have a website called loweland.com. That's pretty easy, where I provide supports for solopreneurs. And I have a community on Google Plus as well as a collection on Google Plus. I really enjoy working with people who, especially in their expanding and understanding their online presence more, but also all the things that go along with being in business for yourself. So really looking forward to this beta testing, and because we've been talking about this for a while, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah.
and you've done your own extensive research on the same thing. And we are in a group of circles of people who are trying to solve this problem because we don't have the best answer for producing an online show yet. I think it was like Google Plus Hangout events had the best combination of all the things. And it was effective enough, and I was accepting of that. Even though it wasn't in my website, I accepted that Google Hangouts and Google Plus were going to work for me. And then they dashed that on the rocks. Now, the evolution coming out of that, this is what we're involved in, and this is basically what we are producing now. So you're going to see an exact result of all this hubbub and the research and development. But before we go on to introduce our programmer and what we're presenting to you, I'd like to present Andrew Hatchett, who is also with us today. And have I been white boxing myself this whole time? How about that? What a jerk. Let's back up. This is Bill. Okay. This is Lowell Ann. And now this is Andrew Hatchett. And we're going to say hi to Andrew. And you actually get to be seen as you speak, unlike our other two guests. And so say hi, Andrew.
Good morning. Basically, my name is Andy Hatchett. I run the user community on Google+. We are an online help desk, really. I'm on twice a day, live, to answer any questions anybody's got about Hangouts on Air, business Hangouts, or any apps that they use with those. And if somebody in our community doesn't have the answer, they probably know somebody that does. I'm also a Google top contributor, and this has been a real ride trying to find something to replace the event page. Everybody, I know 4 different groups that are working on it, coming at it from 4 different angles, and nothing has quite gelled yet, but we appear to be getting closer. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Well, thank you very much, Andrew. And just to be it known, Andrew's group is one of the most prolific help groups that I've been involved with. And it's the only community of that nature that I promote and hourly endorse. So if you want to join some place that's usable for you, it's going to help you. And you don't have to worry about what they're selling, what they're trying to get out of you. It's a help system guaranteed to be of help to you, and you want to join this community. And we're a little bit picky about who comes in, but once you've been vetted, you join in with a full ranking, and just enjoy yourself and contribute to the people, help other people, and gain some really valuable knowledge yourself. So I recommend his group there. So now I'm going to white box myself again so that we can maintain what I'm trying to show you, because at this point in time I would like to introduce Kyle, who is my son and my programmer. That's just kind of a lucky arrangement for me. The programmer of my WordPress plugin that I've been trying to develop now for probably upwards of 5 or 6 months, and finally I engaged with Kyle to actually develop this thing, and he's doing a really, really good job. So Kyle has gone to school for a lot of this. He's a special graphics artist, and I'll let him tell you his credentials and what he does and a little bit about himself. But everybody, this is his great debut on Hangouts on Air, and he's no longer a Hangout on Air virgin as of today. And Kyle, go ahead and say hi and tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Hello. So, yeah, basically Roland said I went to Art Institute and got a bachelor's in digital art. But along the way, about halfway through, I discovered I actually liked programming just as much, if not a little bit more, and started taking all the extra programming classes I could. But I'm primarily self-taught. I've worked on 6 video games, and I programmed a few different just fun side project myself, and I programmed a couple websites, and this is my third plugin now, too.
Okay, so he's pretty much getting involved in the WordPress world and the plugin world. And once I understood that that was what he was doing, I just went to the crux of it and said, Kyle, this is what we need in WordPress for my purposes. And I got really greedy about his time because basically it's what we've all been striving for a long time. It's great to have a great engagement and a great event. But if you can take that event and plan it right in your website so that your website becomes the central hub of your activity, your conversation, your hangouts, your events, your live display, if it becomes the real hub, not just a figurative or a hopefully you'll send people there, if it becomes the center where the best engagement is available, that's the goal. And I think that we may be encroaching upon that as being a good solution. And so that's what we're working with. Now, before we get into presenting the actual, and you're not going to get a back-end display. We're not going to take you into the WordPress dashboard and show you how it works and everything. That's going to be for later. But right now, today, what we're going to do is show you what Kyle has produced and what our efforts are propagating. I mean, what we're coming to. But before we do that, I want to acknowledge who's in the audience because we have some people who have been following along with this. And indeed, a lot of them will be participating as beta testers in the very near future as we test this plugin. But absolutely, right now, the only person that's got it on a computer or a website is Kyle. So he's here to introduce us to what we can do in the very near future. But the people in the audience, we have Alana Birmingham, Heidi Hornland is also out there. WeWake was there earlier. I don't know about now. And let's see, we've got a few people actually on the outside watching, so I hope more will come in. And most importantly for today, I hope that you will watch what we're presenting and then give us your feedback as to what you see. And I want comments such as, well, this looks good, this looks bad, this should be bigger, this should be smaller. It'd be really nice to add this feature or that feature. And also, I would like you to comment as to it. I don't like this at all. I would remove that. I would like your feedback. It doesn't mean that we're going to change everything that you people say today. But it does mean that we're going to listen to the audience and see what your preferences might be. And then we're going to, of course, it's going to end up being my preference. But my goal has always been to find out what's best for the people, what gives us the best engagement. And the one last thing that I would add to this is that engagement to different people is a different thing. Engagement means something different to everybody. And in my case, I am not a salesperson online. I'm not going to end my Hangouts with a pitch at the end on, if you want to buy this or we get this at a discount or something. I am not going to do that at the end of my Hangouts. Now, am I a salesperson? You're damn right I'm a salesperson. But I'm not going to do it in an educational Hangout. That's just against my principles. If we're here to explain things, engage things, and share and develop the knowledge for what we're doing, that's one thing. And I'm not going to use that as the bait and switch to try to sell my product at the end. Now, other people could do that. And in the future, depending upon what I'm doing, I will do something similar. But certainly, if you come into my Hangout, you'll know in advance we have a special offer that we're offering you in this particular case, and we'll make that available. And I'll guarantee one thing, if I'm selling something online, the value will be there. So anyway, we've acknowledged the people in the audience, and we've acknowledged the people in the green room. And now I'm going to turn the focus over to Kyle, and he's going to screen share what he's showing with his plugin. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Kyle. I can hear you on your right. Actually, Well, the funny thing is my case holder blocks my button. So where else is the mute? Hey, hang on, hang on. Try now. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay, go ahead, Kyle.
Okay, so let's see. This is essentially the plugin I've been working on. This would be your video, whatever you want to put in here. It's just as easy as copy and pasting the link from YouTube from the top. And then the chat box on the side is automatically generated based on the size of the video. And you can input a title, add your own images below, and a description as well.
So one thing, Kyle, so that it's very clear to people, before the event, you can plant in the information that we have gotten from our YouTube live generation of an event, and it will display the YouTube insignia in there and show that the event is yet to come, and the comment stream will be available regardless before the event, during, and after the event, but the video will be replaced by the coming soon event or with a date and so forth. The thing that you normally see in YouTube will show here. So even before the event goes live, there will be the identification of the upcoming event.
Yep. And something I actually added to the list is I want to be able to make it so that the video, whenever you want, can be replaced with just a standard image. So if you wanted to make a nice banner or image for yourself that's just there for the video before the event, saying when it starts and things like that, if you want your own custom one, you can use that as well.
So you'll be able to switch off between those two things, the video itself and then the still shot or the thumbnail frame at your leisure. It's your choice, the user's choice.
Roland, may I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I'm noticing that the comments come up on the right-hand side. Does that mean that those comments are within a sidebar, or are they part of the main screen?
They are part of the main product that we're looking at. Okay. And basically, you're asking great questions, and I think a lot of them are going to be answered as Kyle continues on with the display. So go ahead, Kyle.
So I'm just going to mostly focus on the formatting at the start right now. So the size does also adjust the height of this to match all these things. And while the height remains the same, there's a scroll bar you can use to scroll to all the past comments as you go down. There's only about 6 comments on this because it's my test one, but you could scroll down if there were hundreds of them, and it would be just fine. And all the reply buttons that are in here and the +1s that you have on like your Google page or Google Plus page work just fine. And if I go into here and type plus Roland, he pops up and I can tag him really easy. It's right there. And I've actually done so in the comments below. I hover over it, shows his profile picture, all that. It's also fully responsive right now. If I move it like this, the comments box goes below it.
Right on.
And it has the ability to both right now, I said it have the 1200 pixel, it will cut off. So if you want things to be below this, like another description or something, you can do that, that's fine. And it will just shrink the total height and you'll scroll it just like it would be on the side. And all that's gonna be pretty easily adjustable. And if I blow it back up, it'll jump over to the side again. And if you access this on a tablet, regardless of your resolution, it will automatically use this format.
Got it. So one of the things that I notice is if people have several apps on their widescreen going, and they want to limit the Hangout to the 1/3 of a width of their screen on one side of the computer or the other. All they have to do is grab the edge of their browser and narrow it down until the video is on top and the chat is on the bottom, and then lengthen their browser so that's narrow and tall, and they can limit the experience of the Hangout Live all on 1/3 of their screen, all in the same window, same facility, and technically they don't have to scroll to participate both in the watching of the video and commenting at the same time and watching the few top comments.
And the proportions for the screen right now, I have it set to 65% of the width is the video and the rest is filled in by the comments. And that's completely adjustable as well, actually. You guys won't have to do this. I'm going to make a tool for it so I can drop it down to 40%. And then now if I reload the video will only take up half the width. No, and my screen's not big enough to display that, though, because it's putting it below it.
Right. But and anyway, what you're saying is that the adjustment of the ratio between the video and the comment area is going to be something that we can, as users, adjust it from within the plugin in WordPress.
Yeah. It's one of the things I'm still working on a bit, though.
Right. So in my case, I would say I'm going to be looking at a comment stream that almost always will be between 30 and 40% of the width of the right-hand side of the user space there, because I want to maximize the video and maximize the comment stream at the same time. So if I'm using a wide screen and your overall window or wrapper is set for a overall width of like 1200 pixels, we can't go full screen with this necessarily, but on your web page, we can set it for pretty much the maximum width of the average web page in WordPress and use it that way. Is there any way, just offhand, to make this make it so that if the people want to use full wide screen in just this window or just this framing, that the frame itself would go widescreen and produce everything in proportion on a widescreen?
So you're saying essentially full screen this section off the page?
Right.
Yeah, I can do that. I just add it to the list.
If that can happen, that's probably the ultimate addition to the experience, because that means that what we're seeing right now could incorporate none of the peripheral greenery and all that stuff in the background of your background, and actually the entire event could be full screen on your computer. If you've got a 22-inch screen, you've got a nice big video going and plenty of comment area, and that would probably be the maximum. And that would basically be emulating what Unified Chat does to their video production with the chat.
Yeah, something I actually wanted to ask is how people would like that to go about, like where they would want the button that would full screen the entire section, or how they would want the interaction to be. What makes sense to them?
Yeah, that is a good question, and I don't know that it really matters that much.
Well, I mean, I want it to be easy to find if someone wants to full screen the section. So I just wanted to find out from people in the group what they think, because there's a few things that make sense to me. I want to pick the one that makes sense to other people too.
Well, let's hear what your thoughts are on that.
Well, one of them is to just put a button right here that would float to the right of the title.
That's the first thing I thought of.
That's what I thought of too. That's where people are used to finding it in a YouTube video, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because if I play this video, YouTube has their own full screen, but they'll full screen just the video. So I was going to put one right below it that would be for full screening the entire section with the comments pushed to the side.
Yeah, and a couple comments, and one happens to be from one of the green room participants. Andrew is saying, and by the way, Andrew, you can unmute your microphone and chip in whenever you like. We don't have enough people to worry about the conflicts there. But I like your idea. It's the same thing we thought of. A branding banner is a great idea. And one of the things I thought of is like I would put my banner across the entire width sometimes, or I would have it sitting on the left like a logo banner or a logo emblem on the left-hand side, the way Kyle is displaying in his sample today. But go ahead.
So I just grabbed a clip it temp image to make sure the image was at least loading properly and scaling the comment section down with it. This can easily be the entire width, and it'll fill it up just fine. It can be whatever image you want.
Yeah, that's cool. By the way, Michael Daniels is in the audience, and he's watching. Moving back up again to what Andrew was saying, your question, Andrew, was wouldn't that depend upon the WordPress theme that you're using? And to a great degree, yes. But if we set it so that you can widescreen it from within the plugin application, you could actually jump out of the WordPress limitations and jump to a widescreen view. Is that correct, Kyle?
Yeah, essentially I'm, because it's a plugin, I have the ability to override the theme programming. So I can just override that and have it take up the entire page. Great.
And also, Alana was saying, voting the same thing that we just discussed, having it below the video, just the same way it is in YouTube for the go widescreen access. So I think that's pretty commensurate with the main vote, is to have it right there below the YouTube button, right there below the CC, YouTube, and the gear shift, and so forth. Okay. So that would work fine.
And the other button I wanted to put next to it, if people think they would want this option, is a force. Essentially, this would be a force mobile mode. So even if you're on a desktop like this with this screen, you hit that button and the comments would shift below it anyways.
Right. That's a really nice option. Michael had a question. He says, "Can you bring the comments on screen?" And I'm not sure what he means by that. So if you would please elaborate a bit. Or if somebody...
Well, that was a question I had. I think if I understand Michael's question, as a comment tracker, I was wondering if there's some way, like in the old one, where we could click on a little eye and actually bring those comments on screen.
Right, and the answer is not at the present time.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm having a hard time understanding what you mean by bringing them on screen.
Well, for example, the comment that I just shared from Michael. Here, let me share it again, and maybe Roland can highlight it, and then you'll see exactly what we're talking about. I mean, we go through a bit of a process to do that right now, but if there was some way to share the comment, I'm not sure you can see Michael's comment full screen.
Yeah, we're seeing it. And the purpose of this, Kyle, is a facility that we had in the basic Hangout on Air facility as a site extension. And what this does, it gives us the ability to bring up something that the audience has said and then show that in the Hangout and record it in the video that this comment was made. And that really is a very highly engaging aspect of the comment facility. Sid's Comment Tracker, the extension that we have been using, has malfunctioned so many times and so repeatedly. It's consistently dying. And so we're finding a way to reproduce the experience without using Comment Tracker. We haven't had a good way of solving that yet. So as a future development, if we came up with a comment tracking option, then we are in the platinum side of gold.
Okay, so it'd be if there's just someone says something in the comment stream in the middle of the live stream and you want to just focus on that onto the actual camera video itself?
Correct.
Okay.
It kind of helps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it kind of helps for people that are watching in replay to have some kind of a relevance and connect to the comments.
Right. So I don't think it's anything that you can easily add into the plugin as is, but it might be something that can be developed and either developed as a sidecar, separate plugin, or an extension in Hangouts or something that allows us to do that. So we'll research that in the future. And it's definitely on my wish list to ask you to research it. but it was not definitely on the original plan. Because right now we were just worrying about the actual experience without Comment Tracker. But Comment Tracker is probably one of the #1 additions that we would make. So,
While
thank you, Michael.
While we're at this portion of the presentation, could I ask a couple of questions?
Yes, absolutely.
First of all, I was wondering, is there any limit to the number of characters in a particular comment? Are we restricted, or?
Whatever the Google Plus's default restriction is would be the restriction. This is actually their Google Plus comment stream that they use on Google Plus.
Okay.
So I haven't tested that, but it would be whatever the default one is.
So
Okay,
essentially, I think the answer is no.
Okay. And what about live links? Will links display live, or will they have to be copy and pasted?
In other words,
I guess the answer is the same, is it? It depends on the Google.
Yeah. So Kyle, it means if someone enters the link into the comment stream itself, will people be able to click on it, or will they have to copy and paste it to make it an active link to a page?
You mean, so if I were to paste this URL into there, people will be able to click on it? Or
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a live link.
Perfect. Okay. And then the last question I had, I shared with Michael, and that was, I mean, right now, one of the recent updates with Unified Chat was that we can drag in the YouTube comments from the live event to the Unified Chat. And I'm wondering if that would happen with this plugin as well.
So, okay. So you're able. Wait. So you're able to take comments from a YouTube video and insert them into the chat stream?
Well, the side chat on the YouTube video now it goes both ways. If people comment in the Unified Chat, they get shared over to the YouTube. It's a plugin that we have to enable every time we do a show.
Well, I haven't looked into that much. That's a maybe, but what I do know I can do is I can take this comment section and give the admin a link in HTML so they can actually insert it into any website anywhere they want that accepts HTML, and it'll be the exact same comment stream. So if you wanted to have it on Facebook or something, if you could insert HTML somewhere on Facebook or another website, it would be a live version of the same comment stream on both. I can do that.
Okay.
Let me extrapolate that out just to say it. So an example of how you could use that and how I would probably use that is that I would set up my event in my web page by starting out by setting up the YouTube event. Then I would take the YouTube address, the URL, and use it to implement the event in my WordPress plugin. And as I'm developing the event in WordPress, it also gives me the option to capture the chat stream URL. And it's not the video, not anything else, just the chat stream. And then if I wanted to, I could run my video live in my website and also in my Google Plus community, and then I could add the link to the chat stream right in my post, and therefore link my video and the chat stream live right in my community. So it would be the second best experience as opposed to just being in your website, but at least the video and the chat stream would all be there and live and immediate. And it wouldn't be a matter of I have to open up 2 windows to do one of each, and I have to, and I mean, it eliminates a lot of the essential fiddling around to have the best experience. It's all going to be inclusive. And although we can't incorporate YouTube, we can incorporate my website and my community and my homepage and whatever else I want to in my outreach, just by being able to capture the URL to the chat stream, and it's portable.
Yeah. Let me real quick. Actually, can I post the URL to this comment section in here so we can kind of show them what we mean? Because I don't care if they put any comments on this that I'm developing on it.
Yeah,
we can test. Yeah, you guys can live test wherever you want. So there's the link. I'll make it much nicer in the future, but you just have to copy and paste that into a new tab, and you'll get access to the exact comment section itself.
So I'm going to do it and just, whoops.
And you guys can test out the features of the chat section all you want right there.
Go ahead and do that again.
And you should see it pop up on my screen when you post a comment. It should appear right in here.
Let's see. Once again, how do we capture the code?
Click on it.
Yeah, just click on it.
Well, it's not going to be live in the Hangout, though. It's not going to be a live link in the Hangout.
Oh, it is for me.
Well, that's because it's yours.
Oh, okay.
We're just getting a picture of it.
Yeah, you should see like this. It should look like this comment section.
Yeah, I got that.
And you guys can put any comments you want, and it will appear on this page here. So the idea is I can take this comment section and put it on any other web page we want. Yeah, you should see like this. It should look like this comment section.
Okay, so the... Okay, so the dummy wants to speak. Where are you capturing this?
I'm taking it out of the source code of the page itself right now. I'm going to make it much nicer for the user to do that later. It's what I plan on doing is either at the very top or at the very bottom. There will be a little piece of code, an HTML. You just copy and paste that to wherever you want it, and it'll only appear for the WordPress admin.
Gotcha.
Roland, to answer your question, it's in the private chat of the Hangout.
Oh, that's what you meant. I'm sorry.
I just found it myself.
In the YouTube or the what?
No, in the Hangout, in the private chat in the Hangout itself.
Yeah, I pasted in the side there. Sorry, that's what I meant when I was asking if I could paste
private chat. Else. No wonder why I couldn't.
Sorry to confuse you.
That's okay. Well, you know, I'm looking at basically what the audience would be looking at, thinking that you were alerting us to something that they could all do, and I thought, well, that'd be a really cool experiment. So let me try this myself.
Well, if there's a way for them to us to send them a.
Well, we could post it in the. Oh, this is great. We could post it in the unified chat stream, although I don't know if all those characters will fit. Okay, well, the bottom line is I've retrieved the code properly and opened that up into your URL. So essentially what we're saying is that we can capture the code via a utility that you're going to build into the plugin, take that, and anywhere HTML is acceptable, which includes posting in Google+. We've already tested that, right? In other words, if I have a community or if I have a Google+ place that I'm going to post, I can actually take this code and paste it into the post itself on a community page or Google+ page, and this chat stream will appear on the page.
Yeah, as long as it accepts full HTML. So I'll be making another link that will box it properly so it'll actually look nice wherever you paste it.
And I have a question, if you don't mind. I'm on the link that you shared, and I was just, Lolan made a comment that said this is fancy, and my reply to her was nice comment plus Lolan Fool saying, thank you. Are testing to see if you get a notification from this mention. Now, before I sent it, it's asking me what circles I want to share that to, as well as listing Lolan specifically. So I'm wondering if like right now it's telling me I want to share this to public and to Lolan. Does that mean it's going to go out as a general post? Or will it stay to...
Yeah, the one thing is when you submit that, you have the option of just making a comment into the comment stream, or literally sharing your comment into any other aspect of Google Plus via the choices that you have in your accounts. Like when I click on that, I've got the options as usual of your circles, extended circles, friends, family, etc., and so forth. And I could share the comment.
It's just.
But I guess my question is, if I don't uncheck public, then that's just going to go to my profile as some irrelevant comment that I've made.
Probably so.
No, not if you don't check the also share on Google Plus. It should. The public just means that people not in your circles
Oh, I see.
can also see it. I believe we can double check this because, like over here, the two bottom comments here. I'll answer one of these questions in just a second. If they had removed that public tag, because neither one of these people are in my circle, I wouldn't be able to see their comment.
Gotcha. So it has to be public, but you make the choice whether you want to share it on Google Plus or not.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be public. Whereas see the public thing, if I remove that and I made this post now and just hit share, only Roland would be able to see that comment because he's in my circle.
All right.
Gotcha.
So yes, to answer your question, Alana, this is just the kind of proof of concept to show that the comments can be put on multiple pages, so you can have several different websites with different users all linking to the same comment stream, seeing the same thing in real time. That's why this is just the comments. It's not a link to the video yet because this area is kind of still under development. I don't want to make that public yet. So I hope that answers your question.
I believe so. Anyone need clarification on that?
Yeah, because here we go. It's all appearing in the bottom of the page on the video now. You can see.
Oh, yeah.
So it took this and it's putting it right there.
Excuse me.
And the reply worked as well.
Oh, okay. So does anyone else have any other comments or questions for Kyle? Anything happening in the comment stream or? Oh, hi, by the way, hi, Eileen Smith, and hi, Barbara Quick. In the audience, thank you for joining us, and we might have to, before the hours over, take people up for an enhancement of what you showed everybody at the beginning of your demonstration, and then just kind of review that really quick. So, Kyle, you want to do that again and just show everybody the responsiveness of the plugin and what it does in the various stages, please?
When moving it around?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one, it will fill whatever width your web page fits into based on your theme, your WordPress theme. And if I just shrink, eventually it'll hit a point. I think it shrinks to less than 350 pixels. It will move it to the bottom and put the video above it. And this testing title, that's actually what I'm working on today, is making it so this section folds up like a YouTube video description until you click a little arrow and then it comes back down to try and make the comments as close to the video as possible. And this area below it is also scrollable too. Trying to make it so that you never have to you can always try and keep as much of the video as possible in your view while looking through the comments.
Yeah, that's a feature that I really pressed upon Kyle as we were developing this, is that we want to keep the video as much in people's faces as possible and expose as much of the comment stream as possible. So a scrolling comment stream and all those things are really great features. So,
And most recent comment at the top.
yes.
Yeah, it should be doing that. I think it's just putting my comments above them because they're my comments. Because when I was testing it right now, because if you go below where my comments start, all of your guys are in order: 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'll have to try and figure out why it's putting my comments above. And it also doesn't look like there is a limit to characters, too. 'Cause I can paste,
I guess not.
I can paste all of this into there. Because I just saw a second person asking for it, so I thought I might as well just test it. I'll remove this comment.
So,
Oh, there we go. And then it shrinks it down to this, and you just hit read more, and it'll expand it. or show
Got
less.
Right on.
So it would be really good at this point to get whatever feedback from the people watching or in the green room. What do you think?
Well, I'll start. I love it. I mean, it seems to bring back all of the things that we've been talking about, the plus mentioning, which is so important to keep the engagement going after the show. And I think, Roland, you can attest that, we used to find with the Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties that conversations went on for 3-4 days after the event. And then once we lost that plus mention ability, things kind of ceased with the event itself. So from my point of view, as a person doing comment tracking, I think it's great that the comments are on the top, that you can put your branding into it, and all of the things that you've developed. The only thing I see missing as a comment tracker is being able to bring the comments right onto the show. But again, nothing is going to start out perfect. So, I mean, we still have a process that we can do that. And I think all of the things that this incorporates answers a lot of the questions that people had as far as engagement goes. And to me, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. When it comes to engagement, we all define it, as I was saying. Everyone's definition of engagement is different. And for some people, it's like getting my message out to you so that you will take the call to action and buy my product or take the move that I suggest. And they consider that engagement. I do not. When I have something where it causes people to say, I want to talk to you. Can we get into a side chat and discuss this thing? And I want to get up close and personal and talk about what I need. And then that's the engagement that I'm looking for. And then if the engagement expands out to where we're discussing things in a live hangout and it helps more than one person, maybe it helps many people at once, that's the ultimate engagement, when you can leverage that out and solve the problem for the many, not the few. But I think that both are important, and the ability to connect one-on-one to the deepest level, and that is one-on-one talking to someone to solve their problem. It starts with that. And if you can't do that, then you're just a salesman, in my opinion. And people will disagree, and people will definitely correct me and say, well, there's this way and there's that way, and I'll probably agree with them. But in fundamentally the case, what I try to do is educate people until they are convinced that I'm the one that they want to engage in whatever it is that I do, WordPress or videos or show production or whatever it is. I want them to want to be with me, and then I can say, yes, let's have an agreement. I'm not going to try to force something on them so they have to buy it because the shiny object is so shiny. That's not my modus operandi. But education with people, if you educate people as to what you do, that's the best marketing thing, because then they're convinced that you're the right answer or the right solution for their problem. And that's what they want to buy, and that's what you want to sell.
Roland?
Yes, sir.
I've got one comment and one question. The comment is you've got a good running start on replacing the event page. I see nothing that wants me to pull my hair out or run screaming from the room.
That's a really good sign.
Okay. The question is, this is will be a WordPress plugin. It won't work anywhere else, right?
For now, that is correct.
Okay. That's fine. I know some people, they do it other than WordPress, but it's a beautiful start to replace the event page.
I see some very, very good opportunities here.
It would it would actually not take much work for me to make it work on non-WordPress pages as well. Just a standard HTML website, I could get it working on there as well. It would just take some work.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, basically, because it's a WordPress plugin, it's all HTML. So it's a matter of writing it so that it works right there. But the essence of why I feel this is so cool is that WordPress is inexpensive and doable. And people who are coming on the market want to figure out, well, look, I've got a limited budget. Everyone starts out there because until they see how their their monetary investments will leverage things at the right time and place when they know what they're doing. The money is skinny because they're afraid to invest. But when they start to figure out what they can do, then they invest where it makes a difference. And this is getting started in WordPress is cheap. Getting started with the plugin is free. And then using it in Hangouts on Air and YouTube, that's free. So they can get started with the lowest possible investment and just getting an education. And that's where all the rest of us come in. We provide the education.
Can I just
I'm
ask?
quite impressed.
Again, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to clarify on what Andrew was speaking about, and that's, am I understanding correctly that this is going to originate in a WordPress site, but that's not to say that we can't put this comment stream on a Facebook page or in a Google post or somewhere else, and just that when people click on that URL, they're going to be brought to the website.
Oh yeah, so that's what I was trying to say. Like anywhere you can input HTML, it will appear. You will see this page inside of the other web page, because that's essentially what I'm doing right here. Is taking this web page and just inserting this comment section into here. Like if I were to make this comment section the full screen, it would display all this empty white space and look exactly like this.
Right. Okay.
So would there be some possible way to incorporate both of the URLs, similar to what we do in Unified Chat, where you could embed that on your Facebook page and have the video with the comment stream beside it?
Well, if let me pitch in right there. We're still questionable as to whether the comment stream transplant will work in Facebook or not. That's an experiment we haven't done. But if it did, then it automatically captures both streams because it's an identical stream. But I think my concept is that Facebook will not allow it. That's my thought, because they purposely block other APIs from functioning in Facebook.
Well, and then I'm thinking that could be the solution to not being able to incorporate YouTube comments or have them transfer back and forth. I mean, if Google associates with YouTube, which I think they do,
YouTube and Google are at literally the same company, and they're two aspects of the same company. So their API is nearly identical, and yes, they are compatible as Unified Chat has displayed, and they are able to draw the two together. I don't think that's from some special permission. I think.
But that would go back and answer Michael's question a little differently, in the sense that it wouldn't drag the comments in, but it would share the same comment stream to that second location, which is effectively doing the same thing.
Right. So I'm not. Yeah, basically, it's like an identical comment stream.
Let me properly just explain real quick how it actually works in a non-program terms. So this comment, for security reasons, we're actually hooking into a Google server. It's Google's website on their server. That's to prevent hacking and all of that, which is why it's so secure and why we have all their features, because it's their servers and they're programming a lot of it. And I was able to hook into that. So essentially, when I request it here, I'm taking it from their server and putting it here. So we can do that anywhere. We can just grab from their server, put it somewhere else, because we're already doing it here. You just have to hook into it. And that's what that bit of code I pasted in there does.
Okay, that answers my question, because I wanted to know what impact will this plugin have on my website, on my server. So basically, what you're saying is it's just a link. We're just hooking out.
Yeah.
So it's not apt to overtax my website allocation on the server.
It's going to just be a small hit when someone loads it up, and then when it refreshes for new comments. That's going to be the only hits, and it's very minor. This actually loads much faster than I was expecting because it's loading from a different server. But it's Google; they know what they're doing. So.
Yeah. Okay. that makes me feel a lot more comfortable. I was kind of worried about, eventually, like if we do a new page and a new one of these every week, such as what I do, eventually, I mean, if it were adding on, it would eventually overload the website.
Oh yeah, like too many comments fill up your server space and stuff. Yeah. No, it's all on Google's website.
Yeah, that makes me feel way better.
Yeah, like I think the actual amount of code for this is less than a kilobyte. If you had thousands of comments, it would be less than a kilobyte still.
Right on. Okay, that's great.
Let's discuss this in a practical sense then. Because what happens is everyone's concerned with the real estate and the ownership of things. And because it's a Google product and ownership, we can't actually claim that it's ours. However, in an embedded sense, we can't keep them available indefinitely on our website exactly the way we generate it. So in the meantime, the idea is, well, what about ownership? You can always copy the comment stream and archive it anywhere you want, but the ownership inevitably is Google's. So we have to watch what we say, how we use these things, and treat that as a Google property that we are copying, commenting on, and duplicating elsewhere. We have to keep that in mind. However, since you're generating the website, since you're generating the comment stream, since it's your YouTube production, I doubt that Google is ever going to say, you're not allowed to copy this content. I mean, how ridiculous would that be?
According to their sharing reasons, they want you to share this everywhere you want. Yeah. This is public code for a reason. Like, I didn't just kind of jury-rig this. There's official documentation that told me how to do this from Google, so they're okay with me doing it, and they didn't want to charge me for it or anything.
Right on. Another question, may I?
Yeah, no problem.
Will this plugin have what sort of a impact will this plugin have on my WordPress itself? And where the question is coming from, like if you go in and make changes to the basic WordPress, and WordPress does an update, then you have to go in and make those changes every time there's an update. So what I'm wondering is, will this plugin operate in such a way that updates to WordPress will not, I won't have to go in and maintain and do anything in behind?
Okay, so you're afraid of a WordPress plugin basically breaking this, essentially?
I'm afraid if this is going to change something in the WordPress document, or not documentation, but the program, whenever they're constantly updating. Am I going to be secure in knowing that when a WordPress update comes in, that it's not going to break this plugin, and the plugin is not going to require me to go into the back end of WordPress and reconfigure something?
I'd like to grab onto this question because it's a good one. And what is at stake and what is in question is, will the WordPress plugin remain compatible with all the most recent versions of WordPress?
Yeah.
So the plugin needs to be compatible with WordPress. And if it's not, that is vulnerable to invasive code, and it's vulnerable to hackers and that type of thing. So that's what her concern is.
Yeah.
Okay. But as far as I know, there is no developer of any plugin that is going to guarantee you that it will remain compatible with your WordPress program itself. If WordPress, just like Google, if WordPress makes a change that breaks the plugin, okay, it's the plugin's person's developer that is responsible for changing it to match the program.
Yeah.
Google and or WordPress are not going to worry about the developers of apps.
That is accurate.
They leave it up to the developers of the apps to make their products compatible with the current version of what they're doing.
Yes.
Go ahead,
So,
Kai.
something I want to say something on this actually is I kind of kept that in mind while designing it. The reason that plugins break when WordPress updates things is because WordPress adds a lot of code that does things for you. And when plugin developers rely on that code and WordPress changes it, it breaks it.
Right.
There's only one piece of code I'm using actually that's WordPress and not default HTML. Everything else is default, so it shouldn't break. The only thing that might break is detecting a mobile device. I'm relying on WordPress's code for that. So if someone were to load this plugin on a mobile device and it's out of date, it might try and load the desktop version.
Right.
That's the only problem I can see having.
Mm-hmm.
Or the other thing is Google said that this code I'm hooking into is still in development and might change in the future. But if it changed in the future, that's a good thing for me because it's pretty limited what I can change within the comments section right now. So if they change that, it'll break, but then I'll just fix it and we'll actually have a lot more control then.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the only two things I could see becoming a problem in the future.
Very nice.
So basically in response to the overall concern is that it's going to be a reasonable, if not high-level, secure plugin and very usable and very adaptable. And also we'll be able to have Kyle, we're gonna be around for a while. So the next decade or so, if you have a problem, just come to me and I'll ask Kyle to fix it.
Yeah. I'll roll into your phone.
Let's see what
That works.
Heidi Hornland says, some things are not compatible with certain plugins. Is there danger? And we pretty much answered that. And yes, some themes are not compatible. And I mean, as a matter of fact, if you're on WordPress.com, you have a real problem because you can't pull in external plugins. And this is not usable in your website. If you're on WordPress.com, if you're dealing with WordPress.org, probably on the same platform that we are on, we have our own hosting and a downloaded version of free WordPress. So that's a different story. And in that state, in the WordPress download into your own website and your own hosting, you can upload this plugin and install it no problem. So I just wanted to clarify that. The Aveda theme is really nice, but it's very complicated, Heidi. So once you get involved with that, it's like you're on your own.
Sorry, I just realized there's one third one. It's very unlikely, though. If WordPress changes the way shortcode works, it might have a problem. But I don't see that happening. Just wanted to put it out there, though.
Right. So because of these different complications and the opportunities to have fixes beyond our control, that's one of the reasons that my business model regarding the plugin is going to be not to sell it. I don't want to sell it. I want people to use this and actually benefit from the use. And that's going to lead them to WordPress. That's going to lead them to YouTube. That's going to lead them to all the things that we do that we decided are essential for doing shows, live streaming online. They are part of the essentials. So when you consider WordPress being a very reasonably priced and usable platform and something to get started, it's really the way that my show is designed to go. Do things cheaply and efficiently.
Roland, what a lot of plugin developers do is include in a button where people can make a donation if they appreciate. At least do that for yourself and Kyle.
You know what? If I thought that I was going to have to be relying on donations, I'd quit right now, because it's wonderful. If somebody wants to donate, fine, and of course we'll accept whatever. But I'm not going to market for that because the fish that I have in mind is much, much bigger. And if I focus on the bigger picture, I'm going to benefit from the bigger picture. And right now, anything that I put in as a donate or do this or help us out and stuff, to me is just a little bit offset to the wrong vibration of what I want to generate. And I'm living and feeling abundant with this, and I'm going to stay there. So, but all in all, I want to make certain things clear. Yes, I'm in business to make money. So if you want to WordPress or YouTube or this, you have questions for me, ask, and if I can help you, there very well might be a price on my services. But in the meantime, I'm happy to give this plugin to people, and I'm happy to facilitate Kyle's work in supporting it. I think I've made him reasonably happy, and it's worth it to me because look what we're getting out of this. So inevitably, my investment of time and effort and everything has been worth it, and I think that we're going to be able to hand down to the generations that want to do live streaming and want to have shows a really valuable thing. So I'm going to get my publicity out of it, and my name will get out there because I'm supporting this thing that we've been working on so far. So, you know, it's what I'm able to come up with that I can give back to the people. And what is the thing that we all say so often? We can have everything in this life that we want as long as we help enough other people get what they want. So I'm focusing on that principle as a rudimentary foundation of what we're doing here. So anyway, I think that we've just about exhausted comments and exhausted our questions. We'll probably think of other things. The good thing is that in Unified Chat, you could add those questions after the event, and they'll stay there. Now, the better thing is once you have this plugin, you'll get pinged through Google Plus notifications when anyone makes the comments.
Just love it. Just love it. I can hardly wait to try.
Yeah, we're right on the fringe of this. I am accepting if people want to be beta testers. I'm accepting volunteers depending upon. I'm going to vet you out. I'm not going to say yes to just anybody. But eventually, in the next few weeks, we will be releasing the plugin's availability to the general public, and then you can all try it. But we're just going to work out some of the kinks first. So if anyone else has anything to say, or Kyle, you have anything to wrap us up, we're open to that.
No, I think it's answered pretty much all my questions, I think.
And you certainly have answered a lot of questions for us. And what's this thing you're sharing on your phone?
That his battery is low.
That's what I was trying to tell you, Roland, is your battery was low. And then
my battery is low.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my phone.
Yeah.
I meant to plug it in.
Yeah, you just tap OK at a little bit.
I'd like to, if I can, just say thank you to Kyle and thank you to Roland. I mean, this is a great start on a major problem that a lot of Hangouts people have been pondering for several months now. So I think it's a great effort and a great working start, as Andrew says. And thank you both for that.
No, thank you, Roland, and
yes, absolutely,
and Bill, for your comments. And Andrew, any last comments on what we've got going here?
Like I said, you've got a great running start. You've got a great running start. That'll make a great base to build on, and I'm eager to see what progress happens.
I think that it's the same conclusion that I had before we ever got started on this. I thought, well, if I'm going to invest in anything, it's going to be something that solves this problem. And I know that we can't solve all the problems surrounding events and hangouts on air and so forth, but I think this is a really good step towards the right direction. Okay, so I want to thank everybody in the audience for participating. I really want to thank everyone in the green room for contributing your time. Thank you very much, Kyle. I wanted you to see firsthand that your efforts are appreciated and we are really on track with what we're building.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and say goodbye for now from Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties. Good day, everybody.
Good day.